Hello and good morning. Hope you're doing well. You are tuned into the Encourager once again, and my name is Nehru. This morning, or at this time, I would like to cover the sign of Scorpio for the Living by the Moon series. And so we've covered, I believe, 7 of the 12 zodiac signs so far. Okay. And so just as a reminder, or perhaps if you are only listening to this one Scorpio moon reading, to you, keep in mind that these moon cycles happen every month and continuously since the creation of them. And so the moon gives a lot of direction, and the moon helps us to see things that the sun cannot, because the sun is so bright. That's why it's so many miles away from us, so many more miles away from us than the moon, right? Because the sun is overwhelmingly bright, and it's no coincidence that it's called the sun, us being sons, right? That's no coincidence. There is no such thing as coincidence, in fact. And so with that, Scorpio, your moon, your zodiac sign, like the other 11 zodiac signs, is also in the constellations. Okay, so yeah, you can see those on clear nights, and the moon helps us to do that. Okay, and the sun doesn't. Again, everything's about balance, and even spiritually. I like pizza, right? So I know if I eat pizza, right, if I'm going to have that for dinner, which is typically the time of day that I would have that, then I know that up to dinner, then I should probably, unless I want to feel like blah, I probably should pay attention to what I eat, and eat something light for lunch, that sort of thing. And I literally do that, right? So if I know that, I don't know, I like ice cream, I make a note to myself that if I want to have the ice cream, I need to eat a banana first. And I eat a banana before I eat the ice cream. And that's something that I've started doing, right? So it's a balance. Okay. So anyway, on to Scorpio and your moon sign. And so the moon, your moon cycle, your lunar cycle happens a complete cycle is every 29 and a half days, Scorpio moon. So just so that you are aware that the moon goes through the full moon, new moon, crescent moon, half moon. It goes through all of the moons, and in that 29 and a half day span, spending about 2.5 days in each of those. Okay. All right. So your symbol, the scorpion, an animal known for thriving in the dark, moving in the shadows, and protecting itself with its sting. Those of you who listen to other videos, I was going to say podcast for some reason. For those of you who have listened to, I do not have a podcast. For those of you who have listened to other, again, the best discovery is self-discovery. So know thyself. I often hashtag that. Know thyself. That's so important. So I'm speaking prophetically to myself, then so be it, But yes, so you Scorpio, you are a water sign, of course. Okay, you are Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Those are the 3 water signs of the zodiac. All right, and you are characterized by fluidity, emotionality, reflection, and non-linear understanding. Okay, your planetary rulers are Mars, which represents desire, courage, self-initiation, and a call to action, and Pluto. Also, you have 2 rulers, and I think it's the first time that we've had 2 rulers, actually. And Pluto, which connects us to survival instincts, power, transformation, and the cycle of life. Cycles of life, plural. Okay, and your modality is a fixed sign, okay, which represents or prizes reliability, predictability, and stamina. Okay, and so we'll get on to your essential needs, Scorpio moon. Going deep, while others like to glide. Oh, excuse me, I almost knocked something off the counter. While others like to glide across the surface of life, not you. You're naturally drawn to what resides below, knowing that that's where to find many of life's precious treasures. Okay, so you are a dig deep kind of individual, Scorpio moon. So you are probably introspective many times. I can already see and know from knowing many Scorpios, the twin flame, my twin flame is a Scorpio. Yeah, so, you probably bottle things inside. Anyway, I'm not going to make this about her or personal, or at least not try to, unless there's a good example for a reason for doing so. Being in control. Okay, so that's another one of your essential needs. Okay, being in control. Okay, so you love to sit in the power seat. It's the place that has you feel the safest, since it always allows you to readily scan your environment for both opportunities and dangers that may appear at a moment's notice. Again, yeah, for all the Scorpios I know, control, that checks the box. They are, yeah, they need to call the shots. They want to be the one in control. That is for sure. Having privacy. Okay. And by the way, Scorpio represents the death sign or the death symbol. And death isn't always bad. Again, it mentions death here in the planetary rulers for Scorpio. And one of the things it mentions is transformation. Okay. And death is necessary for transformation. That's why leaves fall off the trees, plants wither and die, humans die and are reincarnated if we should have another life that we need to fulfill karmic duties or heal karmic responsibilities here on planet Earth, or we go somewhere else, or we ascend and we are with divine source, most high, deity, Yahweh, God, or whoever you call them, okay? But yes, so death is not a bad thing. Death is a part of life. That is a very true statement. You shed skin cells, right? Most of the dust in your house, don't look up at your ceiling fan, you might gag. Most of the dust in your house is skin cells. They're skin scales, right? It's not dirt from outside. Okay. Having privacy. Sometimes you need the time and space to be on your own so that you can process all that arises from the wellspring of your emotional being. Because I know if you do not, Scorpio, what ends up happening is you end up running, you end up retreating, you end up backpedaling, moonwalking. Okay, that's what happens. And that's for anyone really who does not face their demons, right? And allow their self-time again to deal with the shadow places as well as the light places. We all want to be shra-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-lying through the tulips, right? We all want to do that. And that's good. And there's a time and there's seasons for that, right? But it's not going to be 365. Even with your divine marriage, it's not going to be 365. Even with your twin flame, it's not going to be 365. Even with your divine counterpart, it's not going to be 365. Even with yourself alone, without a companion, it's not going to be 365 by yourself. Because fortunately and fortunately, life has a job to do, and life's job is to help us to become the highest, purest, truest version of ourselves possible during our time here. Okay? And that's what this channel's for. That's why I share what I share. That's why I grow with you. That's why I share my journey, share my story. Yeah. So your superpowers, Scorpio moon, is discretion. You're a master of guarding the vault. Those who want their secrets kept safe know to share them with you. People instinctively sense that you'll keep whatever they tell you under wraps, given the high price you place on privacy. Okay, so going back to that essential for having privacy. Okay, also I can tell you also a low vibration side of that, and again this is for any sign, is to become sneaky. Okay, so that is the low vibration side of this Scorpio sign. Okay, and this is in sun or moon sign. Okay, sun or moon energy, because it's across the board for any sign, any individual, right? If anyone has anyone who gets carried away with the privacy and keeping secrets, because all things do not need to be kept secret. There are things that need to be released, right? Because they are good for the whole. Because again, think about our military. If our military, there's a small number of people who volunteer today to defend this country and keep our freedoms, whatever those freedoms happen to be, whether you like them, dislike them, disagree with them, like them, love them, whatever your opinion are. You're here. If you're in America, you're here in North America, United States of America. And so you enjoy those freedoms, right? But not all, I don't even know what the population currently of the U.S. is, but whatever that population is, not all of us have to serve, right? And I'm sure many of you are saying, thank goodness, right? But not all of us have to serve, right? Thankfully, there are those of us, right, who are birthed with the warrior mentality or find it in our heart because of an event happens, like the football player Pat Tillman, right? So you feel something well up in you after an event happens, after a tragedy, right? After something like 9/11, right? And something stirs up in you, right? Thank goodness for all us men and women who volunteered to do that, or who were drafted and actually chose to happily serve. Thank you, right? So yeah, but make sure, Scorpio, that this privacy thing and keeping secrets does not get out of control. Okay, because again, that could lead to deceiving others and keeping secrets and things like that. Again, it's a place that hits real close to home. Detective abilities. Okay, so that's good. You love to dig deep and explore what's below the surface, astute at piercing the veil and seeing what resides behind facades. This is one of the reasons that you're not only drawn to mysteries, but also so adept at solving them, whether those are in books, on the screen, or in your own life. Okay, so that's awesome. That's good. Seduction. There's an air of mystery about you, a je ne sais quoi, that many can't put their fingers on, which others find quite attractive. And even if people perceive you to be intense, this only strengthens the pull you seem to have on them and their desire to want to know or work with you. Whether or not you consciously emanate your seductive side, it still serves to influence people, drawing them closer and inspiring their desire to want to be your ally. Okay, so you could use that to your advantage, both obviously to your detriment as well, right? Scorpio moon. Your kryptonite is suspicion. Okay, it makes sense that you are a suspicious mind. After all, you maintain that if you can so readily keep a secret, why can't others as well? When you get caught in an eddy of a distrust, you could find yourself dubious of most every claim that you encounter. Okay, so yeah, you got to watch that. You got to pay attention to that. That you don't kind of like a warped mind kind of thought process is what I'm getting from reading that. Like your yay is nay and your nay is yay, or that's how you see it, or that's how you interpret it, or intuitively see it. Like you can get to that point. So that's something to be careful of. Going to extremes. When your love of the intense and your all or nothing bent, you tend to go to the extremes. And while this may contribute to your capacity for endurance, it can sometimes be taxing if it has you exhausted and out of energy and resources, etc. Right? Stirring the pot. You don't mind when things get a little messy. After all, if the situation is too neat and orderly, it can feel vitality depleting. At times like these, you like to stir things up. Yeah, there's a lot I could say to that about a Scorpio, but I won't. But I will say that they definitely have a tendency to, when they get mentally bored, emotionally bored, they have a tendency to throw in monkey wrenches and shit. So yeah, that's just, yeah. So again, Scorpio, you guys got to be careful of that, right? Scorpios also have a strong tendency to be narcissists. Again, not all of them, but I think they have to work a little more diligently at protecting their energy and who they surround themselves with, perhaps, than many of the other zodiacs. Okay, because of their strengths and their weaknesses, and what those each are. Okay. All right. So nurturing strategies. Okay. So honoring your feelings. You're quite an emotional creature. Your complex feelings guide you and help you to eliminate your path, even when you're traveling through more Platonian realms. As such, it's important for you to both explore and honor them. Writing, dancing, listening to music, and doing artwork are some activities that can help you do both channel the wealth of your emotions and better understand them. Okay. Testing your resolve. Okay, so this is the second nurturing strategy. While your all or nothing orientation can sometimes stir up stress, I was going to say the process. Yeah, the process too. In the right situations, it can be very motivating, such as inspiring you to dedicate yourself full force to your wellness goals. Okay. Your strong resolve, married with your detective skills, can make you relentless when it comes to discovering the cause of and solutions to any array of health challenges. Okay. All right. And so next we have power of seduction. Okay. And again, there we are again. Scorpio is known for for its erotic seduction and passionate nature. Connecting to your libidinal urges is vitalizing. In addition to nurturing your sex life, there are other endeavors that can help you rouse and nourish your seductive side. For example, read erotica, research tantra, and practice self-love. Dancing, whether alone or with others, is also a surefire way to stroke the fire within you. And I've mentioned a number of times how dancing, especially for the sacral chakra, and this is talking about seduction and it's talking about physical intimacy. And so I've mentioned that dancing helps that energetic space, your sacral chakra. It helps that, right? And so, yeah, it helps that. So, in addition to, so in addition to massages, right, you could dance, right? And again, it's just another way, right? And so, yeah, it's great that they mentioned that, here. All right, so stress spotlight. Aversion to superficiality. Okay. You're motivated to probe below the surface to explore riches you know often reside out of sight. This is so essential that when situations don't allow any space to dig into, you may get irritated. In turn, with a desire to excavate whatever you can, you may probe others, which may cause them to retreat should they feel their buttons being excessively pushed, leaving you feeling isolated. Make sure you're focusing on channeling your efforts to plumb the surface in a conscious way. Okay, so that's all about balance there. It's yeah, like we're always talking about, everything's balance, internally and externally. We see it in nature all of the time, and we see it best in nature, actually. Health focus, and in our bodies. Speaking of health focus, large intestines. Okay, so I'll say right away that the Scorpios that I know, the female Scorpios, they have stomach issues. Bloating stomach, they have those issues. Those are also spiritual issues. Those are sacral and solar plexus issues. That's what those issues are there. Okay, that's what those issues are. Okay, so typically, anyone dealing with those types of issues, they're suffering from either they're hiding their emotions or they're hiding something, right? So that's what that's from, and that's where the stomach big bloating, that's where that comes from. Okay, and obviously food can cause that. It could be food irritation, right? But if food irritation does not check the box, then it's definitely a spiritual thing. Our bodies show us how we're doing spiritually. Okay. So health focus, your moon sign is one aligned with subjects that are taboo, as well as places in which messy yet transformative experiences occur. As such, it's not surprising that Scorpio rules the large intestines. Colonic health is essential as it performs numerous instrumental functions, including absorbing water and electrolytes, eliminating waste, and synthesizing nutrients like biotin and vitamin K. Additionally, if we experience bowel irregularity, such as constipation, it can rob us of energy, impede our ability to lose weight, and diminish our sense of overall vitality. Okay, so pay attention to you Scorpio moons. You have a propensity for dealing with stomach issues, and again, I know several Scorpios, specifically women Scorpios that deal with female Scorpios that deal with the stomach issues. All right, so now we're on to looking at Scorpio, each of the 12 signs coupled with you in the moon sign. Okay, Scorpio. All right. So first up, we have Aries in the Scorpio, and you have strong willpower and a passion to prevail no matter what the challenge. You appreciate movement over stagnation. Your Aries sun is lit up, charging headfirst into a situation, while your Scorpio moon feels better when you take a more stealthy approach. Taurus Scorpio. Your Scorpio moon adds a deep emotionality to your very practical Taurian nature. You're exceptionally determined when you set your mind to something. You dig your heels in, clinging to your position with great power. That can create stubbornness. It can, if you're, again, if you lean too far into that can create stubbornness. When a strong sensual and erotic side, sexual expression is important to you. All right, Gemini Scorpio. You like to channel your curiosity into meaningful subjects. Between your Gemini sun's inquisitiveness and your Scorpio moon's love for unearthing things, you're exceptionally motivated to separate fact from fiction. Honoring your desire to have both breadth and depth of experience is key to your happiness. Cancer Scorpio. People see you as a very sensitive soul who is able to read the waves of hidden currents around them. You're also fiercely protective of your surroundings and those you love. With your emotional Cancer sun and passionate Scorpio moon, your feelings are the compass through which you navigate the world. Right? And next, Leo Scorpio. You've got quite a dynamic personality. Your Leo sun loves to shine, while your Scorpio moon gives you a mystique that others find alluring. It's essential that your creative pursuits are infused with meaning. You're passionate about bringing to life works of art that deeply transform people's understanding of themselves. Okay. And Virgo Scorpio. You prize order, but also at times you have an affinity for disorder. While you place a high price on things being tidy, messiness and disarray sometimes intrigue you. With your analytical Virgo and your probing Scorpio moon, Virgo sun that is, you've got a fix-it personality that's passionate about problem solving. Okay? I'm about to read the next one without saying the sun sign. So this is now Libra. Okay, Libra Scorpio. Striving for harmony is important to you, but only to a certain extent. After all, while your Libra sun loves when things are on an even keel, your Scorpio moon craves the thrill of stormy waters for the emotional stirring that it yields. You're an amazing negotiator whose power derives from both their charm and tenacity. Okay? All right, and double Scorpio. So Scorpio sun, Scorpio moon. A double Scorpio, you're like the phoenix. When faced with challenges others may find insurmountable, you rise from the ashes, giving birth to the whole new you. Depth and strength are two of your many calling cards. You have a powerful emotional capacity and love to dive below the surface. Right? Sagittarius Scorpio. Truth is exceptionally important to you, and you love digging into it while trying to understand what gives something veracity. With your Sagittarius sun, you crave freedom. With your Scorpio moon, wants to feel the intensity connected to others. It's a tricky balance to navigate, but you're up to the task. Okay? And Capricorn Scorpio. Talk about tenacity. Once you set your mind to it, no mountain is too high for you to climb. With your pragmatic Capricorn sun and your persevering Scorpio moon, You will pull out all the stops to work hard towards your goals. Feeling empowered and achieving success are very important. Aquarius, Scorpio, you're passionate about social progress. With your intellectual might and emotional chops, you can help communities navigate group dynamics. You have a unique sense of vision. With your Aquarius sun, you've got objectivity, while with your Scorpio moon, you also want to view things up close. Okay. And lastly, Pisces, Scorpio. You're quite intuitive, able to perceive subtleties that others may not recognize. Within you resides an ocean of emotion, sometimes calm and sometimes turbulent. With your Pisces empathy and your Scorpio passion, you're a dreamer nurtured by understanding the deep ways in which things are connected. Okay. All right. So, this concludes the Scorpio reading for Living by the Moon series. I don't know, I drew a blank there for a minute. Thank you so much again for listening. I hope you, as with the other signs, the other 7 signs, that you're getting something out of this, and perhaps you're listening to a couple of them. I know I'm learning things about me that are ringing true with me, and I know I'm going to be covering a lot in the next sign, the next zodiac sign, which is Sagittarius. I'm a sun sign Sagittarius, right? And so I'm definitely looking forward to checking most every box on what I read and share next with the Sagittarius and the moon sign, even though Sagittarius is my sun sign, right? Okay. So yes, thank you so much for tuning in. Again, you've been tuned in to The Encourager. My name is Nehru, and as always, stay encouraged.